You're listening to Safety FM Minicast.
This episode of the broadcast and the podcast is brought to you by Safety Focus Moment. They're consultants that want to help you get the safety culture you've been looking for. For more information, go to safetyfocusmoment.com.
Hello and welcome to Safety FM. This is Jay Allen. It's Friday, so you know this is going to be a mini.
You are listening to a renowned safety expert, Dr. Jay Allen, on Safety FM. Changing safety cultures, one broadcast and one podcast at a time. Join the fun on social media and find us on Facebook at Safety FM.
Well, hello there, and how has your week been so far? Hopefully it has been a joyous and a glorious one. Look at the bright side, it's Friday, so if you're blessed enough to have the weekend off, it's almost there. It's almost over with. And I guess really that's part of the conversation that I would like to have with you here today. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and we're having a discussion on risk that people are willing to take and not willing to take. And what do I mean by that? We were talking mostly about safety programs inside of organizations. And if the philosophy doesn't actually match to what you're doing inside of the organization. So let's phrase that a little bit differently. If your organization does not believe exactly the same way that you do in safety, what are you going to do? And he was talking about how uncommon it is for people to leave organizations. And he was talking about from the perspective because if their philosophies don't match. And he goes, the source of income is so important that people will not be willing to take that risk. And I was trying to understand exactly what perspective he was trying to tell me. He was telling me about people that are inside of organizations for years. They can't change philosophy, come to an agreement, but that people that are not believing what the organization wants to do will not leave because of the paycheck. And I thought about that. And I said, how many people really stay inside of organizations and won't leave and won't actually wave their flag and say, hey, we need to bring attention to this because how important that paycheck is. Think about that today. Do you strive and live inside of an organization where you don't agree with the methodology of safety that's being performed there, but you stay there because of a paycheck? I would love to know the answer to that question. Think about that today. What's the most important part? Because that is actually one of those weird questions that you have to ask yourself. Does the paycheck become more important than the belief system? Or does the belief system become more important than the paycheck? Think about that. I have been your safety manager and host, Jay Allen. And until next time, be safe.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.
Now you can hear us around the world, streaming 24/7 at safetyfm.com.